Assalamu alaikum and a very warm welcome to all my dear students. I, Sharmeen Shaikh, a teacher at Anjuman Islam. Today we are going to study the subject of geography, and our topic for today is land use part 1. Now, what is land use? Land use is the way or purpose for which land in a region is used. Land use undergoes changes with time. Land use is basically how we humans use the land. For what purpose? We use land for building up buildings, malls, for entertainment purpose, to build playgrounds. All these are the different types of land use for how we use the land. Similarly, the land in different types of areas also have different types of land use. Now we have two types of area. One is rural area and the other one is urban areas. Now the purpose of the land in rural areas is different from the purpose of land in urban areas. Let's have a look at the different types of land use in rural areas and urban areas. Now the purpose of land in rural areas are arable land, fallow land, forest land, grassland or pasture land. Now let's have a look at the purpose of land in urban areas. Now in urban areas, we use land for commercial purpose, residential purpose, transportation facilities, public utility areas, recreational land and mixed land. Now let's have a look in detail in this video what are the different types of land use in rural areas. Now the first type of land use in rural area is arable land. Now arable land is basically the land that is under cultivation. This land falls under individual ownership. This is the land that is owned by the farmer and he carries out his activities on his land according to the priorities of his land and whatever the demand of the society is. The second type of land use in rural area is fallow land. Now fallow land is the agricultural land which is temporary, not in use, in order to increase the fertility of the land. So now what does the farmer do? After he has cultivated his one crop, he leaves the land for a season or two to rest it down. He fertilizes the land, he provides fertilizers, he makes good to the land so that when he puts in the next crop, the fertility of the land is increased by then and the quality of his crops will also be good by the second batch of his crops. The third type of land use in rural area is the forest land. Now forest land is the land that is kept aside a marked area for forest use, from where people use forest products like firewood, gum, grass. All these things are obtained. Forest comprises of large trees, bushes, creepers and grass. So this land is basically the marked land under forest area. So the last type of land in rural area is the grassland or pasture land. Now this is the land that is under the ownership of the village panchayat or the government and is used for grazing purpose. This land belongs to the entire village. Very little grassland is under individual ownership. So grassland or pasture land is basically owned by the village panchayat and this land is used for grazing purpose. Grazing is basically where the domestic animals eat the grass and this land is given by the government for the people. So the people can feed their domestic animals. So these were the 4 types of different land use in rural areas. First one was arable land, fallow land, third one was the forest land and lastly the grassland or pasture land. I hope till here everything was clear to you all. In the next video we are going to study the type of land in urban areas.